And welcome back to the Tiffany and Tyrone podcast. Another week.
Yep, another week. Episode 6.
Oh, somebody's been counting. So, this week has been pretty interesting. There's been something on your mind for the entire week. We've been chatting about it.
Yep.
The subtlety of the experience
Yes.
of being humiliated
Yep.
and discouraged.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's subtle, so you don't notice it. That's where they get you.
How long was it that you were in that narcissistic relationship, the last one?
5 years. Going on five and a half.
5.5 years. And how long before you discovered that you were being humiliated?
Ooh. Probably the last year or two. Kind of hard to pinpoint exactly because because it happens gradually. You kind of start to realize it gradually.
Mm.
Well, that was my experience anyway.
Well, it's my experience too.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, you don't treat it like if it's a thing that's happening to you,
Yep.
but you just know it is because you feel that it's happening to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about humiliation, discouragement, the subtlety of it,
Yep.
how it hurts, how it feels, other than hurt, because yeah, it gets confusing, right?
Oh yeah.
And we're also going to be, kind of walking through some scenarios of how you can deal with it, how you can recognize it sooner. Because what we've experienced, it looks like you've had 3 years in your last relationship, from what you're saying, before you recognize that you were being humiliated and discouraged.
Yep. Yeah, because it was so normal.
Aha. That's what we're going to be pointing out today,
Hmm.
because every moment of your time that you lose in a narcissistic relationship, you will never get it back.
Yep.
And that's what really hurts. I spent over 20 years in a narcissistic relationship.
Hmm.
And the humiliation, I didn't know that was a thing until 3 years ago.
Mm.
I just knew that I would feel bad and I couldn't even put it together. It was so complex.
Mm.
It was so interesting when I actually, began to understand what's happening to me. But prior to that, nothing. I had not a clue.
Would you say you reinterpreted the behavior?
Absolutely. Um, in fact, what I would say is that many times people help me to reinterpret the behavior.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
social norms,
The
um,
support system that surrounds these people.
yeah. Society basically says, oh, they were just joking. You see, you said he was joking, or she said she was joking. Like,
Hmm.
why are you so
Yeah,
upset?
don't take it so seriously.
Yeah,
You're too sensitive.
precisely. And that's exactly what I suffered for many years. And then other people would demonstrate to me, "Oh, look, I do this to my husband all the time. Look, see, ha ha ha."
Hmm.
And then you feel confused because there is a place where you could joke with each other
Yeah. In
in
the
a
right.
functional
Yeah.
relationship, right? Like there's a space where the jokes seem the same.
Hmm.
So you get confused. And here's the other thing that would happen to me. Like the joke would get made about me. It's at my expense. I would feel really bad in the moment.
Hmm.
But it happened so quickly that the conversation just kept going. People laughed and they just kept going.
Yep.
And then someone would finally say, like, "Oh, you okay? Your face looks a little sour. You sure you all right?" Because I'm still suffering from the effects.
Yeah. They move on, but you don't.
Right. And like everyone else seems fine that this thing has happened.
Yep.
And I'm confused because I don't know what's just happened to me.
Yep.
This person that I love, that I'm thinking also loves me, just literally made a total idiot out of me
Hmm.
in front of everyone. And it hurts. But it's almost like if Well, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you were at school and some idiot, they do the little spitball thing.
Yep.
You ever had that? And they take the refill or something out of the pen and they chew up the paper and shove it in and they shoot it across the classroom
Yep.
and it hits you in the back of the neck. And you're like, what's that? But you can't see it because it's so small and it's just annoying.
Mhm.
And then they keep doing it, but you just kind of like, people are giggling. It's
Mhm.
kind of like that. Like, it's
Mhm.
happening to you. People can see it happening to you. But even the spitball is a lot more obvious,
Yeah.
as a form of teasing. You know what I'm saying? Um, but this stuff, this humiliation, so subtle.
Yes.
And yes, I found myself reinterpreting, yes, the negativity of the situation
Mhm.
and having to tell myself, I guess I was too sensitive.
Mhm.
And then the rest of the night, you just move on, like everything is all right. You don't think about it anymore. They come up to you and tell you things like "love you" because
Mhm.
you're behaving well.
Yeah.
Because the humiliation has put you in your place
Yeah, you're not sticking up for yourself and they like that. That's what
precisely,
they want.
and you don't realize what's happened to you, and now they're showing you all this love. You are their possession. You've
Yep.
done a great job of making them look good, allowing them to dominate you and have that power over you in front of everybody. So now they know, oh, that's her bitch.
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
he's not going to stand up for himself. Happy wife, happy life.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
everybody thinks you're so awesome. They say great things to you.
Yep.
That's what makes it so confusing. That's what makes it so complex. So for 15 plus years, I suffered that and didn't know there was something called humiliation.
Mhm.
No, here's what changed though. And so, and it's a really funny story in a way. Like you start talking to another person who's functional,
Yep.
and then you begin to realize I have this functional friend, and they never make fun of me. Like never, ever, ever, ever. But we
Yeah.
laugh all the time. We have a lot of fun. We can go together, maybe it's like a work colleague or, some other social situation that you could be with that person.
Mhm.
Never ever has that person ever done that to me.
Mhm.
And you enjoy being with that person. You try to figure out what's really going on in my marriage.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you get what I'm
The
saying?
one relationship that's supposed to make you happy and you're supposed to be the most comfortable in.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
I started to get confused. 3 years ago, I literally started to feel really confused about how is it that I can go out with this person and have so much fun? And I mean, we're just friends. I have no interest, whatever, you know, but they never make fun of me.
Mhm.
See, I only realized I was being made fun of when somebody else was able to socialize with me and they didn't make fun of me.
Mhm. So in that contrast, it's
Yes.
so much easier to see when you have like both sides of it to look at and
Yeah.
compare.
Yeah. And this person had no interest in me. So it was like, this is really confusing. How is it that the person I love so much that I want to love me makes fun of me in
Mhm.
front of a crowd? Now, here's the messed up thing. Never made fun of me at home.
Hmm. Interesting.
Never. Nope. Never humiliated me when it was just, she and I. Never ever. Always in front of a crowd.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter if it was a group of friends or if it was total strangers. For me, there was always a moment, as long as they had an audience,
Mhm.
they would find a way to get that little dig in.
Mhm.
It didn't even matter if it was like, I remember one time, there was this time we were on a cruise. So we gone on holiday and no one knew us where we were.
Mhm.
And we signed up for ballroom dancing.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. So
romantic.
well, yeah,
From
exactly
the
right. The,
outside.
the, the
Oh, that's
cruise,
so
the
romantic.
cruise, roll through a Latin. dance type country.
Mhm.
And she really likes dancing,
Mhm.
and she thought this would be a great idea for us to go get these salsa dance lessons and whatever, and then we could have a great, you know, time to nighttime.
Mhm.
I was like, no, okay, I've never done that before.
You're open to new things.
Exactly, we're on holiday, it's relaxing.
Mhm.
So, she's a better dancer, and the person's, they're teaching a couple people, and they're trying to show you how to make these moves and whatever, and I'm trying to follow as best I can.
Mhm.
You're right, like you're okay if you're on your own, but because you got to hold this person a particular way, it feels awkward. I've never done that before, it's my
Yeah.
first time. You know what I'm saying? And then she makes the comment. No,
Mhm.
here's the messed up thing about it, and this has probably happened to some of our listeners. Pretty sure it has.
Mhm.
Can I remember the comment she made? No.
Mhm.
This is early days. I cannot remember the comment. I can remember the feeling.
Mhm.
Because the feeling is so familiar. Because when I recognize the connection between the feelings that I became aware of 3 years ago, I was able to say, oh my gosh, this is what was happening to me all the time.
Yep.
You see, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when I was like, is this thing falling apart? Like, what's wrong? I was thinking, yeah, this is like a new development. I can't stand this
Mhm.
anymore, kind of thing. Like everything is broken. Maybe you should try to fix it.
Yeah.
I hadn't realized that this is something that's a consistent thread
Yep.
in our relationship because I kept letting it happen, feeling bad,
Yeah.
not dealing with my feelings.
Mhm.
Am I making any sense to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. After all, the humiliation is they're exerting power over you. They have to look good in front of everybody and make you look and feel like shit.
Did a good job of doing that because I clearly did feel awful. And interestingly, the reinterpretation of their behavior, changing their negative to positive,
Mhm.
it was like became such a normal part of my dysfunction
Yes.
because I was doing this to myself now. See, it's one thing for that person to hurt you by humiliating you. It's another thing when you're codependent and you allow that to happen to you. You feel bad, and then you
Mhm.
take those feelings and say, "Ah, she's just joking for real."
Yeah.
Like later on, she was
Yeah.
alright. She came over and hugged
Yeah.
me,
They're
brought me a
extra
drink.
nice afterward.
Yeah, smoothed it out.
Mhm.
See, I love
Distract
you.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't recognize it. That
Mhm.
humiliation was painful. It was numbing.
Mm. Yes. That's a good word for it.
Yeah, paralyzing
Mhm.
because it's happening in front of everyone.
Yeah. And you're
You're
confused.
Yeah, deer in headlights moment. You're just stuck there. It's like coming at you really fast. What are you gonna do? You're
Yeah.
not gonna run away, but you can't do anything
And it's
because
like a shock to your mind because you
yes,
don't realize what's going on.
yeah. And sometimes people laugh. Sometimes people look like nothing is happening, and then they change the topic so quickly.
Mhm.
It's almost like, oh, that never happened, and then everyone just moves on with the rest of the conversation.
Yeah. So they distract you
Yeah,
right after.
that's the end of it. So
Mm.
here's the other way that they got me. As it progressed, over the years, what I recognize on reflection was that when I look back, I would be like, maybe I came home and I was like, tonight you said this thing and I really felt kind of bad,
Mhm.
and then they would say some loving, discouraging words to me.
Mhm.
Have you ever had loving, discouraging words? Again, another way where they discourage you from something, but it seems like love at the same time. Oh, I don't know why you would think like that. Like I
Mm.
told you, I was only joking.
Yeah, you know I love you. I
Exactly.
would never want to hurt you.
And either way, I thought you were a really tough person. I didn't think you would
Mm.
let something tiny like that get to you.
Mm.
Come on, don't be like that.
Oh wow. Yeah, that just triggered something.
Yeah, don't be like this. See, you begin to remember it. Don't
Mhm.
be like that.
Yep. Yeah, huh, when I would say something about his jokes, the second one,
Hmm.
I would tell him, that was really uncomfortable, and I didn't like that you did that. Um, then he's like, well, then you're saying that I can't joke around with you anymore. You used to be so tough. You used to, be okay with my jokes, and now I can't joke around with you anymore.
Yes.
It's like, but I'm just saying that that hurt me, and then it just goes to the extreme. Oh well, yeah, I thought you were tougher than that.
Yeah. It's like this weird discouragement of, come on, don't be like that.
Hmm. You're
Stop it.
you're taking it the wrong way.
Yes. That's exactly what it was. No, no, here's the thing about that experience too, right? In that moment, you are trying to connect,
Hmm.
resolve an
Yep.
issue, and hoping that you can build something into your relationship that allows you to be yourself and to be safe with this person that you are loving.
Hmm.
And that person has just discouraged you from following through on that process by saying, you're taking this the wrong way.
Hmm.
I don't even know why you're bringing this up.
Mm. I thought we were past this.
I told you I was joking. This is not a big deal. In fact, you know what? Since you're so uncomfortable with this, I'm going to call, and I'll use a name just for whatever sake. I'm going to call Barry. He was at the party, and I'm going to ask him if it hurt him or affected him the same way.
Ooh. Wow.
Yes, I've had that one. Or I'm going to call, you know, Shalice or some other person and say, Remember, you were at the party with us. Did you see me do this?"
Mm.
No, 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 they have another audience, right? And then you're feeling like a total. It is like, no, 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 it's all right, it's all right. No, no, you said you have a problem.
Wow. Bringing other people into it.
Exactly. Like, so my problem isn't real
Hmm.
because I can show you, Tyron, that this never happened. I can show you
Yeah.
that the thing that you're feeling bad about, don't do that.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
This didn't happen like that. Told you I was joking.
Hmm.
It was just a joke.
And that's where the gaslighting comes into.
Exactly.
Yeah, this didn't happen. I don't know what you're so upset about.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you're experiencing these type of emotions in your relationship, I want to tell you from experience, reflection,
Hmm.
mindfulness
Yep.
about your emotions. When this is happening to you, try to record it in your mind.
Yeah.
You see, because listening to us today is going to help you to recognize that maybe this is what you're experiencing.
Hmm.
Because until someone else started to reflect back to me the words that I was saying, I was not aware that I was experiencing this humiliation.
Yep.
I would forget what happened to me. I couldn't remember the words
Hmm.
because the way how they so effectively cancel it out by bringing proof, bringing other people in. And these other people are like, oh, I don't remember that. I remember just laughing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
Right? Like, and then they would say things like, "Oh, come on, guys, I don't want to get involved in, your
Oh, it's
little
classic.
couples thing. It's like, come on, this is none of our business."
Hmm.
So now you're all alone.
Yep.
You can't test your truth in these isolated type relationships. Everybody's on their side, it feels like, and
Hmm.
nobody else can see your side.
Yep.
And it literally makes you feel like if you're going crazy.
Yep.
Because it never happened, according to them. But you know it did.
Hmm.
And even though you can't remember the words sometimes, or you can't remember exactly what it was, you remember the feeling.
Yep.
You remember that emotion, that deep disappointment, that deep hurt.
Hmm.
Hold on to that emotion. Recognize it again
Hmm.
the next time that
Yep.
it emerges. Because now you've listened to us. Now you've listened to our stories. Maybe you can recognize the humiliation
Mhm.
and then followed up with the discouragement later to stop you from doing something about it.
Mhm.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, come on. You're better than that.
Yeah.
No, don't do that to yourself. Just come to bed. Oh, just come here. Yeah, it's like 17 plus years of that stuff, man. It's
Wow.
even traumatizing now when I think about it. I can feel the pain.
Mhm.
Yeah. You just don't see it. You just don't know it. Here's another one. This is the one that I like to use. Like when you're that point in the relationship and you feel like, okay, I think I'm recognizing this. I
Mhm.
think this is a pattern of behavior. Here's how to test it.
Mm.
Do something for yourself.
Yep.
Only benefits you. Not anything wrong,
Mhm.
because you don't want to hurt a person. But just, do something that you like
Yeah. Like out of the norm.
for them.
Well, something that you've always wanted to do for yourself, for only yourself,
Hmm.
but you haven't done for whatever reason.
Yeah. But you've been thinking about it for a while. Like for
Yeah.
me, I always want to do this particular course at the time. And I decided "Ah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna join up in that program. It's just a short program.
Mhm.
It's for me. I've worked out. I got the money. I've worked out the timing. You know, doesn't affect kids. Doesn't affect anyone
Mhm.
as far as I can see. You know, it's done in a way that it doesn't even change my regular schedule.
Right.
Yeah, I'm saying right.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about everything, but it's gonna benefit me, and by extension, benefit everyone else because I have a new skill.
Mhm.
Oh, the reaction.
What was the reaction
Can't believe that you would do something like this to
to her?
me. What's going to happen to me now?
Hmm.
What do you mean? Like, I really want to do this for me, and I've like been thinking about this for a long time. Oh, you're so selfish.
Wow.
See, I was thinking that we could.
Hmm.
No, we had no plans before that,
Right. Hmm.
but now comes the discouragement.
Yes. I have a I I have a story too.
Oh, what you got?
So, I I call it a narc test
Mm-hmm.
to see if you are with a narcissist or toxic person,
Mm-hmm.
because some people aren't, diagnosed narcissists, so they can't really be called. But toxic people,
Mm-hmm.
kind of the same thing. But so I just wanted to go through the narc test like in its entirety, and then I'll go to my story, which fits right into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like we said, do something that you've always wanted to do for yourself that you haven't done before.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do it, or when you tell them you're going to do it, focus on their reaction. Are they encouraging and empowering you
That's it.
to,
Supportive.
yeah, if they're truly supportive, only have positive things to say about it, like, yeah, I think you should do that. I would be really good for you. Just
Mm.
straight positivity, or if they add that subtle discouragement into it, like, well, I don't think you really need to do that. You've got enough of those skills already. I don't really think that's for you. Or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just pay attention to their reaction to something you do only for yourself that only benefits you.
Yep.
And then my story. So I did something different that I hadn't done before. So every weekend, every single day, really, I would do whatever he wanted to do. If he wanted to go, on a fishing trip, I would go, even though I don't really like it. I This is what I was thinking at the time. I don't really like it. Now I understand that I well, with him, I didn't like it.
Okay.
Like, I have to specify that. I might like it with another person. I don't know. I'll have to try it. But anyway, with him, I didn't like it. So my whole life was based on what he wanted to do, and I just went along with everything. And so there's this one day, this was near the end, when I started noticing these things. And so my friend invited me to a hike on a Saturday morning. We had no plans. Him and I had no plans on this Saturday. And so I come down from the stairs all ready to go. And he asked me where I'm going. I said, well, I'm going on a hike with this person. And he's like, well, I had plans for us. I was going to take you on a trip. I'm like, okay. Well, I already said I would go. Oh, why didn't you let me know first? Like, why would I need to let you know? Oh, well, I had plans. I was going to take you this place. You should have let me know. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I didn't know about these plans you had for me. But and so by the time I left the house, we had had this argument, and then I just left.
How did you feel when you were leaving? Did you feel good about going out with your friend anymore, or were you now feeling discouraged?
I was feeling very discouraged, but I was not going to let
Yeah,
I
by
was
then you were
by
fighting,
then, yes. Yeah,
but
this was
before, when you really think about it,
before. If I think of the old me that didn't know this information, I would have dropped it. I would have called her, I would have canceled it. Okay, let's do what you want to do. That's what I would have done back then.
hmm
That's
it
what I always did back
precisely
then.
only on reflection do you
Mhm.
realize that the discouragement was working.
Oh yeah.
They would humiliate you first, make you feel like crap in
Mhm.
front of everyone. When you two are alone, they implement the discouragement
Yep.
very gently. Oh, you want to do something to grow yourself? Oh, come on, you don't need that. You're the
Mhm.
best at everything I know. You want to go out and have fun with a different person? Oh, come on. I had plans for us.
Mhm. I
My
was going to
plans are
do this
better.
I was going to do this really nice thing for you. See how much I love you?
Exactly. And doesn't it sound like if
It's
it's something positive?
it sounds so nice.
Go tell one of your, weird flying monkey friends, this is what happened to me, and I felt really upset. You know what they say to you? That he was gonna take you out.
Yeah, he was doing something nice for you. What's wrong with you?
And that's your boyfriend. He has to be your priority.
Oh,
That's where the social norms come in.
oh wow.
Everybody says, come on, that person that you love, that you're married to, that you're committed to, they have to come first.
Yep.
They're before you. That's what happens.
Yep.
It's so subtle. You don't realize it. Now, here's the thing. We're making a really big deal about this, people, because it is a big deal.
Yes.
But it's like being injected with a poison needle.
Mm.
You say, oh, it's just a little prick. Come on, come on. It's not that big a deal.
Yep.
But you just got yourself, some awful disease or some terrorist, weird thing. You're going to fall down and die in no time because you don't realize what's happening to you.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like they're injecting you with their poison
Slowly.
little by little by
Yes.
little, and then it all adds up,
hmm
and then
So when I started to realize from other relationships that I was in, other friendships,
mhm.
that were not connected to my partner at the time,
Yep.
I realized I've never been encouraged
Mm.
in that relationship.
Yep. Because
I've
you've
always
got
been discouraged.
yeah, and so now when you're talking to these other people outside of it, you have that
Yes,
contrast again.
exactly. Functional people.
Mhm.
So I realized, I've always been discouraged from doing something, but in this positive sounding way.
Mhm.
Whereas when I'm with these other functional people, they encourage me to do things in a different way. They say like positive things to me,
Mhm.
And how did I know what the difference was? It was only about me.
Yep.
When you get encouragement from a genuine, true friend, that person says something for your benefit. Yes, you should do that. That would be great for you.
Mm-hmm.
When you get discouragement from a toxic relationship, it sounds more like, I don't know why you need to do that. You don't need that at all.
Mm-hmm.
And what about me?
And they make it seem like you're hurting them so much by
Yes.
doing it.
It's okay if you do it, but I'm really gonna miss you. And I don't see why you should go take all this time away from me. I miss you all the time.
Yeah, you're hurting them so much by taking care of yourself.
Yes. That's how I found out the difference. That's when I began to realize the thing that I was desiring, that feeling of comfort, confidence to be myself
Mm-hmm.
whilst being around other people. I didn't have it in that relationship. I
Yep.
could not be me. I always had to be someone else
Mm-hmm.
in order for that person to be happy.
Yep. I have this exact same experience.
Yeah, being myself hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're going to end on that note.
Yep.
We want to thank you for listening to the Tiffany and Tyrone podcast. We want to tell you the subtle things are a big deal.
Yes.
We hope you recognize them.
Mm.
And
Allow yourself to slow down
yes,
and reflect. If you feel like that, it's always a little thing that you feel and you can't quite understand it, but you feel something is off. Allow yourself to slow down, dive into that feeling and understand how you're feeling in the moment. It might
yes,
be after the moment, but
you can replay it.
take
You can
time
bring
to
it back. Yeah,
reflect on that feeling and go through the whole process in your mind and decide, well, if you're not feeling good about it, that means something's wrong.
absolutely.
Yep.
Have a great weekend.
Yep. Everyone, yeah, have a
Happy
great
Sunday.
weekend. Yep. Sunday. All right. Well,
Bye.
until next time.